Good morning and welcome to episode 32 of The Daily Light. Thank you to everyone that tuned in yesterday for episode 31 with my special guest, my father. That was a really powerful episode. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you go back and catch up on it. Today I want to speak to you about forgiveness. And I've spoken to you about forgiveness before, but let's go a little more in depth and talk about St. Paul. So for you that are not familiar, St. Paul was one of the biggest characters in the Gospels. He was the biggest proponent of faith for the early church, but it didn't always start out that way. St. Paul actually started as a persecutor of the Christians, and he was like, the scripture says, meanwhile Saul considered nothing but violence and death for the disciples of the Lord. Saul was his name before his conversion, but Jesus took him, transformed him, and used him as an instrument to bring his name to the pagan lands. So the disciples knew of this Saul person and they were scared of him. They were running from him. So when Paul has this conversion and Jesus tells him to go to Ananias, one of the disciples, Ananias was scared. And it says in Acts of the Apostles, chapter 9, verse 13, Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard from many sources about this man and all the harm he has done to your saints in Jerusalem. And now he is here with authority from the high priest to arrest all who call upon your name. But the Lord said to him, Go, this man is my chosen instrument to bring my name to the pagan nations and their kings, and the people of Israel will listen. I myself will show him how much he will have to suffer for my name. That's powerful. So let's take it to today and our relationships with people. Don't you ever notice that sometimes, like, those people that we have the most trouble with, that maybe we're feeling a little bit of resentment, that there's things that we just can't forgive, things that we can't get past, God keeps putting them in our way? Do you feel that? Does it happen to you? I know I've experienced it in my life. And that's Jesus saying to you, like, how much do you love me? How much do you trust me? You know, imagine how Ananias and the rest of the disciples felt that this murderer, Jesus was saying to them, here, take him, help him, shelter him, show him the faith. He's going to be your friend now. Could you imagine how they felt? They felt betrayed, confused, doubtful. But they had to grow from that. They just had to trust. They had to put their own insecurities and feelings aside and trust and look at all the good that Jesus brought out of that. Most of the books of the New Testament were written by Paul. That's how great Jesus built him up to be, because he chose to forgive and because the disciples did decide to take him in and show him the path, and they baptized him. So in your life, who are those people? Ask yourself, not God, why is this person in my life? Why can't I catch a break? Ask yourself, God, how can I open my heart more to forgive this person and see what it is that you're trying to do through me, through them, through us together. Because God will always ask you to open your heart bigger, to open your mind bigger, so that he could fill you with more. But you have to trust him. And that's how he tests you, to see if you're ready or not. How willing are you to open your heart? Accept this message today, and I pray that you examine all the relationships that you have in your life and ask God where he wants you to grow. Have a blessed day.